We've lost the ability to fix things. Now we just replace them. Great email from a wise 21-year-old man named Yoel. We're going to get into this email because I want to talk about this. He says, we've lost the ability to fix things. Now we just replace them. Hey, Dev, my name's Yoel. I'm 21 years old, and I've noticed something while spending time with my 72-year-old grandpa. Anytime an issue arises with something that he owns or a personal relationship, he goes into fixing mode. Like second nature, he calmly assesses the situation and tries to figure out a way to repair what's been broken. He tells me stories about his old cars and the creative ways he was able to repair them. He also tells me stories about him and my grandmother, how they were able to fix things between them when a breakup was almost certain. I feel like we've lost this, especially my generation. We're so quick to end a relationship. It's like nobody even wants to try. And when it comes to my things, I can't remember the last time I fixed anything. I just throw it out and order it new. I love the channel. Hopefully you can cover this in a video. Yoel. Good email, Yoel. I appreciate that. Funny you mentioned this because I've noticed that as well, but I think it's even, my generation above you, same thing. But it is, progressively getting worse. I talked to my dad, and rest in peace, my Uncle Mike. They grew up together, and they would tell me stories all the time where they'd smoke their ciggies, and they'd tell me stories about being 14 years old, 15 years old, taking their Schwinn pedal bikes and cutting them with a welding torch and taking lawnmower engines or chainsaw engines or whatever and welding them and mounting them and bolting them and fabricating them to make mini bikes. 15-year-olds engineering their own mini bikes out of lawnmower engines or chainsaw engines or what have you. When's the last time you saw a 15-year-old with that ingenuity? Come on. 15-year-olds today can't even take out the garbage. I'm not trying to clown, but I'm being honest. We have fallen. We have fallen as a species, in a sense. And as far as relationships go, yeah, that's an obvious one. We all know the answer to that. The smartphone, this culprit here, the smartphone has made everybody feel like something better is or potentially is around the corner. And why would you have to fix something when you got a replacement ready to go? It's easier, it's faster. That's that. And I think that human bonds are suffering tremendously today. Human bonds are suffering massively from the smartphone and from just the lack of valuing that, right? Because again, when you're online, it's not the same as in person. And when you have endless options online, you don't really value what you have in front of you. But on the flip side, at the same time, as we've all talked about many times, with all those options, you kind of can't even choose, and you're not even able to feel the connection. So it's just ugly. It's ugly out here, man. This email kind of made me think back to my childhood, like I said before, when I heard these stories from my dad and my uncle. And I thought back to my life, and older people that I've talked to. It's really strange to me how, again, young men that were, that are probably in their 50s, 60s, 70s now and beyond, man, when they were teenagers, they were rebuilding engines in cars. They were engineering their own little mini bikes. Just really creative, skillful things. We've lost that with shop class. We don't even have shop class anymore. They don't teach anything like that in school. I can't remember the last time I met a teenager that's even remotely interested in doing anything like that. They don't engineer anything with their two hands, or with their bare hands, excuse me. I literally can't remember the last time I met a young person that did that. Does that scare you guys a little bit? That scares me. If you talk to your grandparents, or even your parents, depending on your age, or if you're old enough, maybe your generation, human bonds meant so much more. That's one of the saddest things today. That's got to be one of the saddest things today, is that so many people, in fact, most people you talk to, even the ones that are in a relationship, they don't feel that secure for the most part. If you do, you're lucky. They don't feel that secure. they feel very disposable. They're always feeling like they're on shaky ground. Not saying I know that to be a fact, but it's something I hear all the time and I see people say all the time. There isn't so much of a sense of security with your partner like there used to be. That used to be like your safe place. That was like your foundation, your world. Very few people seem to have that today, and if you do, you're very lucky. You should really cherish that. Again, going back to the video I made a while back, how humans don't feel things like they used to, I think we're really suffering. We're really, really suffering in our relationships because of either the lack of the ability to bond, or we're just not able to do it because we can't get past these. One way or another, I hope that having the conversation can change something with our perception and our ability to recognize something good that we have in front of us. But as far as the ingenuity part and the fixing things, like physically fixing things, I will say it's a little harder now because now we're very technical, like computers and so. I mean, not anybody's just going to take this cell phone apart and fix a broken camera lens or a broken screen or what have you. Like it's a little detailed, but I guess rebuilding an engine's relatively detailed for a 15-year-old as well. And using a cutting torch to cut out part of a Schwinn bicycle frame and fabricate and weld a lawnmower engine or chainsaw engine in there. Yeah, I guess that's about as tough, if not tougher, than fixing a cell phone. You can argue that. I just don't think people are doing that anymore. And also with my generation, I noticed my parents, not so much my parents, but the parents in my generation tended to be a little more scary. They didn't want us doing crazy stuff like that. My neighborhood, or excuse me, I can't talk. My house was the neighborhood kind of wild house. We'd have the bicycle jumps in the road, jumping our bikes and, playing sports and roughhousing and wrestling and fighting and being chaotic. But a lot of my friends growing up, they weren't like that. Like their parents were very sheltering. They were sheltered. They weren't allowed to do the crazy shit like us. Their parents would freak out if they went off a tiny little jump on their bike. They'd freak out. I've seen videos and people giving stories from like the 60s and 70s. I mean, these 15-year-olds were jumping over cars and stuff on their bikes. I feel like they were tougher too. I think they were like made of rubber. These guys would wreck their bike and not even get hurt. Nowadays, kids get hurt. Kids get hurt if they, do anything. It's crazy to me. It's very, very crazy to me. This is kind of sad, but I also just think that it's something that, like I said, we should talk about more. And I think we can turn this around. It's just going to take some serious introspection and a group effort, which is pretty hard these days. Let's be honest, who's going to work together as a group these days with such division and lack of being able to pay attention to anything for more than 5 seconds because of these? But yes, the point in your email is very true. We, as a people, need to fix things more than just quickly throwing them away and replacing them. Value the things you have, value the people around you, and understand that a lot of these things, especially the people, are usually well worth putting in the effort to fix. Anyways, like the video if you did like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Till next time, God bless. Be well. I'm out.